Today in Chilango's cooking channel.
Let's check 2 recipes to make amazing guacamole, chunky and smooth and homemade nachos. So let's begin with the chunky version. And the basic thing is, good avocados will make good guacamole. So once you have the right avocados, properly ripe, you cut them in halves and then you remove the seeds. Now I'm cutting the limes and we're gonna use the lime juice. Put them apart. Let's chop the onion very finely. I'm using yellow onion, but I would actually prefer to use the silver onion. It's just that not so commonly you find silver onion or like the white onion in supermarkets. Then I proceed to chop it very finely, and meanwhile I want to tell you about the avocados. The perfect avocado has the following texture. Close your left hand and then gently press it with your right hand, and more or less the same texture that you feel with your thumb on the middle of your left hand. That's basically the same texture you should feel on the tip of the avocado. Now I proceed to clean the chilies. I'm removing the seeds with a spoon. I'm using fresh jalapeno. You can use fresh serrano or fresh habanero or fresh chile de arbol. By removing the seeds, we're gonna get all the chili flavors, but we're gonna remove the spiciness. Then we chop very finely the coriander or cilantro. And now we're basically ready to start with our guacamole. Something very important is that in neither of the recipes I use garlic. Some people sometimes use garlic, but I want you to know that sometimes the real secret on how a legit recipe is done is not exactly what you put, but what you don't put. Some people do put garlic, but then again, I am the one that prefers that guacamole goes without, because anyway, salsa and other things and other preps of Mexican cuisine contain a lot of garlic, so we can skip it. Just keep it simple and let the avocado be the main driver of flavors, along with the coriander and the onions. Of course, the lime and the salt. That's it. As you can see, I spooned out all the pieces of avocado, and now I'm gonna put a little bit of salt. Don't put too much, you can put a little bit more later. Because I want it very chunky, I'm barely gonna just push it with the fork. And since these avocados are perfectly ripe, they don't need much effort. Now I'm gonna add the onions and the coriander, and I mix everything. Then I'm gonna add the lime juice, and if needed, you can just check now about the salt and the lime juice to your own taste. Now to make this a little bit more good looking, I used my molcajete, but you can use just a basic bowl and a fork to make this chunky guacamole. And then I'm gonna make a very simple decoration of some sort of fan made of avocado, and we will put the seed in the center. That way you know it's a real and traditional guacamole. Let's move on with the smooth version. As you can see, we have all the ingredients displayed. And one thing is, I'm gonna use olive oil for this one, but if you want your guacamole, the chunky version, to last a little bit longer, you can also put a little bit of olive oil and it's gonna help for it. They also say the seed helps, but well, I think it's more of a tradition. For this version of the smooth guacamole, all you gotta do is use a hand mixer and mix all the ingredients. Do not use the blender, trust me. As a restaurant owner, some of my employees at some point messed up and I lost a couple blenders like this. I'm adding also tomatillo for this version. You could also use tomato. Now, very important point. If you use tomato or tomatillo in your guacamole, it's gonna last a little bit less. Definitely the flavors are worth trying it, but just take into consideration that probably it's gonna be good for use maybe 1 or maximum 2 days. It's gonna be a little bit more spicy, but super packed of flavors. Habanero is one of my favorite chilies. It's very fruity and it has a great taste. So as you can see, I'm simply just adding all the ingredients. And like I said before, don't put too much salt or lime. You can always fix it a little bit later once you already proceed to mix it. There's not much science to this. Just go ahead and mix it all. And once you get it nice and smooth, your guacamole is gonna be ready. This guacamole is perfect for topping. It's perfect for making decoration. And especially if you're using it in a restaurant, this is very easy to store. And it's really simple to, for example, put it in a piping bag. And when you're finishing your tacos, just make small little blobs, like bubbles of guacamole. Look at this, it's a great color. It's ready. So let's start with the nachos. I have these Don tortillas. They are freshly made with quality ingredients. They are the best you can find in Finland. If you live in another country, I'm more than sure that some Mexican right there is having a small company. So you should go ahead and support them and buy the tortillas from their tortilleria. If you want to make your own nachos, it is the best option because your tortillas have to be very thin in order to have a very crispy and nice result. Otherwise, they're gonna be a little bit too thick and really hard to bite. So now I proceed to cut the tortillas in triangles, the way you can see here. And like I mentioned, please leave me a comment and let me know about other companies and tortillerias that supply this kind of products. I will be more than happy to mention them because I think it's very important that we support local and small entrepreneurs. So we're almost done and we're gonna proceed to fry them. If you have an air fryer or a frying machine, you can just fry them exactly the same way you would do with French fries. But right now, we're gonna do without, which I think would be the little bit more difficult, but probably the most common way you're gonna end up doing it at home. So let's move on. Put plenty of oil in a deep pan, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna toast one of the tortilla chips, and that way, when it starts sizzling, I will know it's time to put the rest of the tortilla chips, and the oil is gonna be hot enough. Now you can see that it's already sizzling. Then I'm gonna proceed to put the rest of the tortilla chips and move them very gently so that everything fries properly. Don't put too many at the same time or otherwise it's gonna be very difficult and they're not gonna fry evenly. Just put a few and mix them. As you can see, now they're getting ready. The color is completely different. It's golden brown. They are hard and they have a very crispy texture. I will proceed to remove them and get rid of the excess of oil. And something very important is, while they're still warm and a little bit oily, you will add the salt. So that way, the salt will stick into the tortilla chip and it's gonna be better. So our tortilla chips are done. Here's our chunky guacamole. And then here is our smooth guacamole. Looks amazing. And our freshly made tortilla chips. Let's jump in.
Oof. Well, I'll take one of these chilies because I like spicy. I mean, it's Now with this one we can make beautiful decorations, and guacamole can be spicy. This one it had plenty of a kick. Because when I finished blending this, I couldn't help myself but to try all the leftovers, because avocado is literally called the green gold and you don't want to waste a single drop of it. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share with all your friends, ring the bell, give it a big like, and make sure to share the way you make guacamole. And I do want to open the discussion. So what do you guys say? Garlic or no garlic? I am team no garlic. But anyway, the point is that it's delicious and that anybody can do it. And like you see, if we can do it like this, you can do it the same at home. Provechito.